6 months pregnant, a toddler at home, and a husband who just revealed he got another woman pregnant at the same time. That is where this story begins, and somehow it gets more complicated from there. Imagine finding out the person you built your entire life around, the father of your children, the man you've been with for 6.5 years, has been living a double life. Not just cheating, but creating an entirely parallel family situation while you're sitting at home, carrying his child, unable to work because of physical disabilities, completely financially dependent on him. That is not a hypothetical. That is exactly what happened to one woman in New York State, who turned to Reddit in what she described as one of the most desperate moments of her life. And the legal and practical advice she received is something every married person, especially every stay-at-home parent, needs to hear. Let's set the scene properly, because context here is everything. This woman had been with her husband for 6.5 years, married for about 2.5 of those years. They already had one child together, a toddler approaching their 3rd birthday. She was 6 months along with their 2nd child. She had been a stay-at-home mother since before their first child was even born, meaning her entire adult life during this relationship had been structured around the family they were supposedly building together. She has physical disabilities that make entering the workforce extremely difficult. Not impossible, but significantly harder than it would be for most people in her situation. So she wasn't staying home by choice, in the sense of preferring it over a career. She was staying home because it was the practical and necessary arrangement for their family. The car was in his name only. The only money she had immediate access to was cash she had pulled from their joint bank account right after she found out. She had no income, no vehicle she legally owned, a nearly 3-year-old, and a baby 6 months away from being born. And she had just discovered her husband had gotten his ex-girlfriend pregnant. She kicked him out immediately. That was the right instinct. But then reality set in. What do you actually do next when your entire financial and logistical world was built around someone who just blew it up? She posted on Reddit asking exactly that. And the response she got was genuinely helpful, legally grounded, and worth breaking down carefully. The very first thing multiple people told her, and this is critical, do not move out of the marital home. In New York State, as in most states, voluntarily leaving the marital home during a divorce or separation can significantly complicate your legal standing. She was worried about being stuck there, but the advice was clear. She has more rights staying in that home than she would have if she left. He was the one who had to go, and she was right to kick him out. If he tries to come back and there's any concern about conflict, she can look into a formal order, but the home is hers to remain in while the legal process plays out. Second, she needed to get to a family law attorney as fast as possible. And the good news is that in New York, many family law attorneys offer free or low-cost initial consultations. Because she has no income of her own, she may qualify for a free legal aid attorney entirely. New York has robust legal aid services, and someone in her exact situation, no income, disabled, pregnant, with a young child, is precisely who those services exist for. The Reddit community pointed her toward resources like lawhelpny.org, which is a state-specific legal aid directory that can connect people with free attorneys based on their county. Third, and this one surprised some people in the comments but is actually extremely important, she needed to be careful about that joint bank account. Pulling out cash was a reasonable immediate move to make sure she had something, but she was advised not to drain the account entirely. In divorce proceedings, courts look at financial behavior during the separation period. If one spouse empties a joint account, that can be viewed unfavorably. The smarter move is to document everything in the account, take what she reasonably needs to cover immediate living expenses, and let a lawyer guide the next steps. If he tries to drain it himself, that is a different situation, and her lawyer can address it, but she should not give him any ammunition to paint her as acting in bad faith financially. Fourth, apply for public benefits immediately. In New York State, she would likely qualify for Medicaid given her pregnancy and zero income, which would cover prenatal care and her delivery. Her toddler should also qualify for Child Health Plus or Medicaid. She may qualify for SNAP food benefits. And she should apply for TANF, Temporary Assistance for Needy Families, which provides cash assistance for families with children when income falls below certain thresholds. None of these are handouts in a shameful sense. These are programs built for exactly this kind of emergency, and she and her children have every right to use them. Fifth, child support. In New York, child support is calculated based on a specific formula tied to the non-custodial parent's income. For one child, it's 17% of gross income. For two children, it goes up to 25%. She is about to have two children, and the courts take this seriously. She doesn't need to work out child support informally with him. She should file through the court system so it becomes a legal order that can be enforced. If he fails to pay, there are real consequences, including wage garnishment, license suspension, and even contempt of court. Sixth, the car situation. Because the car is only in his name, she technically doesn't have a legal claim to use it, even during the marriage. However, in a divorce proceeding, marital assets, including vehicles purchased or used during the marriage, are typically subject to equitable distribution in New York. She was advised to document when the car was purchased, how it was paid for, and whether marital funds contributed to it. That becomes part of the overall asset division conversation. In the short term, she may need to rely on family, friends, or local transportation resources, but this is a temporary problem that the legal process will eventually resolve. The community also raised something she hadn't directly asked about, but clearly needed to hear: spousal support, also called maintenance in New York. Because she had been a stay-at-home parent, has physical disabilities limiting her ability to work, and the marriage had lasted over 2 years, she has a real argument for spousal maintenance on top of child support. This isn't guaranteed, but a family law attorney can evaluate her specific circumstances and make that argument. New York courts consider factors like the length of the marriage, each spouse's income and earning capacity, the standard of living established during the marriage, and whether one spouse gave up career opportunities, which she clearly did, when deciding on maintenance. The emotional weight of this situation is almost impossible to overstate. She is 6 months pregnant. She has a toddler. She has a disability. She just found out her husband was building a family with someone else at the same time he was building one with her. And she had the presence of mind, in that moment, to kick him out, get to a computer, and ask for help. That is not weakness. That is strength operating under enormous pressure. The community showed up for her. People shared resources, walked her through steps, validated her instinct to act quickly, and reminded her that her situation, while devastating, is not hopeless. New York actually has some of the stronger protections for stay-at-home spouses and custodial parents in the country. She is not starting from zero legally, even if she feels like she is emotionally. Here is what this story teaches every person watching, regardless of their situation. Financial independence is not just about money, it's about options. When one partner holds all the financial cards, whether that's the car, the income, or the accounts, the other partner's ability to respond to a crisis is severely limited. If you are in a relationship where you are financially dependent on your partner, it is not paranoid to make sure you have access to copies of important documents, tax returns, bank statements, insurance policies, property records. It is not paranoid to know what assets exist in the marriage. It is basic protection for yourself and your children. And if you ever find yourself in a situation like hers, suddenly separated, with children, with limited resources, know that you have more options than it feels like in that initial moment of panic. Legal aid exists, public benefits exist. Family courts exist specifically to address situations where one parent has been the primary caregiver and needs support. The system is imperfect, but it has tools designed for her situation. And the most important first step is always the same: talk to a lawyer before you do anything major. If this happened to you, or if you're watching this and something about it hit close to home, take a screenshot of this. Send it to someone you trust, or just let the information sit with you. Knowing your rights before you need them is the best legal preparation you can do. And if you found this video helpful, please subscribe. We break down real legal situations, real Reddit stories, and the actual rights and options that people often don't know they have until it's almost too late. Hit that notification bell so you never miss one.